Hello, everyone. Welcome to another scene for Darkness in Dublin, the vampire venue. In this scene, we have a direct follow-up from the scene in the pawn shop, where Fleur is getting into the car with Charlotte and Ambroise, however the fuck you pronounce his name. And they are going to be going, and they are going back to her house. So I imagine it's Fleur's car and she's driving, right?
No, Charlotte drove.
Oh, Charlotte drove. Okay, Charlotte's car. So she'll get in the passenger seat and she'll be nice and open the door for him and get him settled.
I would like to let it be known that there are child locks on the back seat doors. So if Ambroise tries to get out of the car, he's not going to be able to unless he rolls the window down and jumps out it.
All modern cars are going to be, but he agreed to come back to Fleur's house, so I don't think he's going to go anywhere.
Yeah, me either.
So
not when he's in transfer year.
No, no, he's in transfer year. I still can't believe it. Oh my god. So Fleur looks to Charlotte as soon as they get in the car before they go anywhere. And describe Charlotte's state right now.
You might have heard a very high-pitched scream coming from the car. All of the windows were rolled up when it happened, but she was in the car screaming.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, she was screaming. She was pounding the steering wheel. She smells like vodka right now. Her clothes are ruined. She she's got tears streaming down her face. She is very, very upset currently. When Fleur gets into the car, she'll see Charlotte has her head pressed against the steering wheel with her arms covering the top of her head. She is sniffling. She's really upset right now.
Okay.
When Fleur opens the door, she will look up at her and smile, because she always does that when Fleur walks into a room or sits down next to her or anything like that. Because she loves Fleur. When Ambroise gets into the car, her face becomes much sterner. I think she is glaring into the rearview mirror. She doesn't say anything because every thought that she's having right now is plain as day on her face.
So Fleur will actually smile to Charlotte because she does the same thing when she sees her, and she is concerned, but she's also Charlotte can tell that she's not happy.
Of course.
She'll say, Ambroise is coming back to my house with us, and the three of us are going to talk. And by the time the night is over, we're all going to get along. Is that understood?
That might take a while.
She grips the steering wheel, and she just kind of gives Fleur a nod as she turns the engine over and puts it into gear. And she makes sure that everybody's actually wearing their seatbelts.
Yep.
Ironically enough.
Even though they can easily survive a car accident, but
yeah, but she'd prefer not to have to pay a parking or a fine. Because she's gripping the steering wheel. Her knuckles are white. She accelerates gradually. She's probably going above the speed limit. But when she realizes that she's going above the speed limit, she slows it back down. And she doesn't say an entire word the entire ride back to Fleur's house.
I'll just say for Fleur, he's right next to Ambroise. Ambroise is clenching his fist. He has a strength of potence +7. He's super pissed. He's clenching his fist so much he's drawing blood.
She actually sat in the passenger seat. She looks back to him,
okay.
but she can sense. She has heightened senses on high
So,
enough aspects that she can sense what he's doing.
Um,
She'll look back to him, and she'll say, "I understand that you're really upset at Charlotte. I know why. I empathize with you, but I really need you to just calm down, and we will talk about this when we get to my house."
I'm trying.
I know.
I would like it to be known that this is Charlotte's car, and she is not having Ambroise sit behind her.
Oh, he's not.
Yeah, no,
He makes
he's
your own
sitting
voice.
behind. He's sitting behind Fleur.
Okay,
I'm
good.
gonna go ahead and make a charisma empathy roll, just a regular roll with her enchanting voice to help calm him down.
He probably has a few tears of blood by now too.
Yeah.
Thinking of her makes me think of what she did. No. Okay.
Rolls, right there. Okay. I have 8 dice, difficulty 4. Okay,
Well,
that is a fail.
The success is there, so it's not a botch.
Yeah.
But
No, there's 3 successes there, but 3 ones, 4 ones. Wow, that was shitty. So yeah, her attempt to calm him just doesn't go over. He's just too upset for her to get through to him right now. She'll try again later. And she will preference you. We are heading to my home and my domain, and I would really appreciate not having any violence in my home.
Very well.
She will nod. She knows Charlotte's not going to start anything, but she just kind of looks at her for acknowledgement too.
She knows that you're looking at her, and she just nods. Like I said, she doesn't say a single word the entire ride.
When they get there, it's not an extravagant place, but it is very nice. It's big. It's as gothic as you can get in Dublin. It's not quite a mansion, but it is a big house. There is a 3-car garage. Charlotte knows where to park. Charlotte probably has a remote to the garage and everything.
Most likely, she spends
a lot of time.
She splits her time between this house and somebody else's.
Yep. So yeah, for Ambroise, it's very nice. But probably what you would expect from Fleur, honestly. And then she'll get out of the car and open the door for Ambroise to get out as well, since he's child locked in.
Thank you.
Of course.
I see. Did you send the link to Evan and Chris?
No.
I think they wanted. Didn't they say they want the link?
No, they said
okay.
for us to feel free to go do a scene, they needed to talk.
Oh, okay.
And I just wanted it to be the 3 of us anyway.
Okay.
So
Charlotte will pull up into the she pulls up into the garage and she'll cut the engine. She'll put it into gear and she'll cut the engine. She just tells Fleur she doesn't acknowledge Ambroise's existence. She just looks at Fleur and just says, "Please give me a minute. I'll be in there in a second."
she nods to her, and she'll actually like give her a reassuring squeeze of her shoulder.
Yeah. You've never seen Charlotte be so pissed before, but she is livid right now.
And she'll actually point to the punching bag that is on the other side of the garage.
She's not so much. She's gonna close the door to the garage. She's gonna roll up all the windows and she's gonna scream some more.
Okay, that's fine.
It helps. It really helps.
Let's scream into the void. Just is so Toreador, just fucking screaming into the void. It's great.
She is screaming into the void.
So then Fleur will take him in through the garage that leads into the kitchen, which is a very nice chef style kitchen. Open concept to the what would be the formal dining room, but is the piano room, and there is a very nice mid-century grand piano sitting in there.
Did I see a punching bag in the garage?
You did. When she comes back in, would you like to go use it?
Very much.
Of course. But for now, look at my piano. Isn't it great? Grand, even.
He'll look at the piano.
It is very nice. It is. It is been well taken care of, and there's no scratches or dings or dents or anything like that. It is a very nice, well kept piano.
I would expect nothing less of a musician of your caliber.
How about if I play something for you?
Sure. Go ahead. That would be pleasant.
So she'll sit down at the piano and she'll play not really anything recognizable, but soothing and pleasant, maybe even sort of haunting, but just something to try to calm the energy. And I will go ahead and roll her performance for that. Charisma, performance. Jesus. Yeah. She has a lot of dice for this. This is insane.
Damn.
Wow.
Wow. What were the ones follow you tonight?
They do. Let's see how. So I'm gonna count that one success as 2 because there are 10s. She has. So it's not as it's nice. It's not as nice as it could be, but it is nice. And yeah, she just plays for a few minutes. She's not trying to impress, which, because she's in her home and just leisurely playing, but maybe it's to also calm herself as much as it is to calm him. But it does seem to have a little bit of an effect on him. Not as much as she probably would have liked, but it seems to help calm him just a little bit.
You'll hear the soft footfalls, possibly. She's not wearing her heels anymore, but she's wearing perhaps house slippers, maybe. She will. She's darkening probably a doorway at this point in time with her. She's leaning against it with her arms crossed and a very stern look on her face. If anybody looks back at her.
Yes, Fleur will look to her as she feels her enter the room. And she will continue to play. She will smile very softly to her. She will change the tune that she's playing to something that she knows Charlotte really likes.
In between the two different tunes, he'll say, "Thank you for your performance. I'll be right back." And he'll go to the carriage door. And
Okay.
I'll say, with the strength of potence you have, you hear the punching of the punching bag from where you are.
She makes a face and she doesn't stop playing, but she'll say, "I'm gonna have to replace that."
I'll get you a new one. I
quite
swear
all
to
right.
God. I swear to fucking God if he touches my car.
Oh, he won't. I told him that he was only allowed to punch the bag.
Okay.
And after a while, he'll come back. A lot more relaxed than he was.
Charlotte will look at him when he walks
Yeah,
back into the house.
Fleur stops playing. Fleur will stop playing when she finishes the song, but
I may have to buy you a new punching bag.
I figured that would need to be replaced. It's really okay. They are not very expensive in comparison to the amount of money I have in my bank accounts, so it is fine. Yes, and that was accounts plural, because resources for.
Something that Fleur might notice about Charlotte is that she didn't before, but now she takes deep breaths when she doesn't need to.
She'll look to her a little curiously. Would you like a drink? She'll lead them both to the formal living room, which has very nice Victorian-esque furniture in it, and a chandelier hanging from the vaulted ceilings, recessed lighting.
Charlotte will do as Charlotte does, and she makes herself at home.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we'll look at the room and sit. Quite a exquisite room you have here.
She'll smile. Thank you. I'm very proud of it. It's pieces that I've collected over the years. I got a lot of them in France.
I should go back one day. It's been a while.
If there's anything to go back to.
Yes, I've heard there's, well, been unfortunate going on lately.
Yeah. Would either of you like a drink?
Yes, please. You know my preferences.
Yes, I do.
What wines do you have?
What wines don't I have is probably the question.
He'll smile at that. Give me
What
something red.
Of course. Red spiked with blood?
Not necessarily.
She'll shrug. Okay. And she will go and prepare the drinks. Making Charlotte's the way that she likes it. Plain wine for Amboise, a glass of spiked wine for herself, and we'll bring it out on a tray, set it down on the coffee table, and hand them out.
Charlotte
Thank you.
looks up at Fleur and kind of beckons her over for a kiss.
Oh yeah,
She'll just say thank you, my dear.
of course. And she'll sit down next to Charlotte.
You wish to talk, Primogen?
I do. I first would like to apologize for the way that Charlotte reacted and acted. It was impulsive and was not what we had talked about.
Charlotte will actually at this point she'll look at Amboise. She will just. She has a very, I suppose, neutral look on her face. It's not caring, nor is it uncaring necessarily. And she will just say, I apologize for the tactlessness of my actions. I unfortunately was very upset. And she kind of clenches her jaw when she says that. And I let things get ahead of me.
He'll nod. May I know? Sorry. May I know why you did this?
Yes, you may.
Fleur will nod.
It was simply a matter of insurance on my part.
To put it plainly and bluntly, Primogen and Regent of Clan Tremere is plotting Charlotte's death.
Out of character, we don't actually know that happened.
Oh, I thought that Charlotte had told her that Katya was planning to kill her.
No, she simply after Romania, she was very paranoid and she wasn't taking any risks considering the fact that Katya is of Clan Tremere and could be possibly forced to take Charlotte's unlife. And so
I thought that was explicitly stated.
Having Amboise bloodbound to Charlotte created insurance for her.
Okay, so I will amend what Fleur said. She'll say, "There's a price. We suspect that there's a price on Charlotte's head from the Tremere, and we don't know who we can and cannot trust."
Oh, there is a price on Charlotte's head from the Tremere. Katja said it to Charlotte herself.
She'll nod. So you see,
if Katja wanted wanted Charlotte killed, she wouldn't have told her about it. She is trying to act against her clan's will.
While I appreciate the fact that yes, she came to me in good faith with that information, that doesn't necessarily mean that someone higher up
can't force her hand.
Can't force her hand.
Because the Tremere are an interesting clan, and they can force people of their own clan to do things that they wouldn't normally do.
I am well aware of this.
Even
has
better, even better than the rest of us can.
Yes.
Now, the intention was to be much more subtle about what happened.
Yes,
Um,
it was.
But we wanted to essentially ensure that as long as insurance is just the best way to put it. It's not something that I do lightly. And again, I do apologize for how it was done. It was not the intention.
As do I. It was.
Oh, but it did happen, and we find ourselves in an interesting situation. You are blood bonded to Charlotte, and you are amenable to me for a while. So instead of making this a hostile situation, I propose that we try to make the best of it. And I think that the three of us could make a very good team. So why don't we just go ahead and form ourselves a coterie?
I actually had a thought, Ambwas, that I'd like to share with you, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
If I manage to be elevated to the position of sheriff, how would you feel about being one of my hounds?
I'm planning to go for that title as well. If you get it, yeah, well, I guess being a hound, well, could be a good thing. Make sure you don't, well, you know what you've done before, and I don't mean this to be an insult, but I could make sure you don't do things you've done before that you would regret.
That's fair.
Well, that is what hounds do. They help the sheriff, and that is, of course, keeping them in check as well, not just doing their bidding.
That being said, of course, if you were to gain the position, you would win it fair and square, no doubt.
I need a bit of time to get over, well, what happened tonight. I'm sure by the time whoever becomes sheriff, I may be over it.
Perhaps. If the world doesn't end between now and then.
Yes, let us. If I were in your position, Ambwas, I would also feel betrayed and upset and everything. And I do understand. And I'm not expecting you to be best friends with Charlotte. However, there is a blood bond. You still have your free will, of course, but that's going to help your feelings one way or another, and I would prefer that they go more towards the likable side of her.
There was something that a great man once said. It is, or was it a woman?
Person. Let's just say person.
Person. It is as unpleasant for them as it is necessary for us. Or was it the other way around?
I'm not sure. But if nothing else, Ambwas, at least as I know you don't owe me any favors, but if you could try to forgive Charlotte for what happened, I would greatly appreciate it. You don't have to tonight or even tomorrow, but eventually. And I will help you find your sire and get your love back. And end her.
So, just a sec.
That's actually something that I would like to bring up.
And you may do so.
With your permission, of course.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm back. See, I'll say, now that she has my love back, the person that I hate with every fiber of my being, killing her will be more difficult.
Oh, I assure you, I can match her.
He'll nod.
That is actually something that I would like to discuss since we're on the topic. What are you... Why did you not say anything before I made the deal?
Because, well, several reasons. One, the bare thought of my sire brings me hate, brings hatred, anger. If I would, well, I hate to mention her name. If I decided this, if I would have mentioned her name in front of him, and it would have been the wrong one, he very well could have read that I was angry and could have used her name against me. He is very good at using names and words against people.
Yes, but you
Fleur will
see,
nod at that.
yes, but you see now, I owe a major favor to someone because you didn't say anything.
And if I would have,
I don't like owing favors to people for no reason.
but there are things that will happen, and if I would have said her name, it was wrong. Something would have happened. He would have used her against me. Would have used those feelings against me.
But you could have just said, my sire. You did not have to say her name. Because we know who it is. You've told us.
Yes, I could have.
So
I'm sorry.
I
Fleur will nod.
suppose, in a way, fair is fair. You're blood bonded to me, and I owe a major favor because of you.
I think that that is fair. Honestly. A major favor to an entity like that can be worse than a blood bond, I think. Out of character, my mage owes like 4 major favors and like 5 minors to him.
That guy racks up favors like it's nobody's business. Holy shit.
Oh, it was because the auction people were bidding favors, so. Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
Alright then. Okay.
Did Christina bid 30 points, which added up to each, like 3 points was a minor favor and 4 points was a major favor, or vice. Yeah. So like I had to split the points up between minor and major favors. So she owes like 3 or 4 minor and like 3 or 4 or 5 major. I don't remember how much
That's
it is,
actually
but
kind of cool.
I blue booked it, but it's a lot. But she got a potion, and it ended up saving Master Siren's life. So, or bringing him back from the dead, actually. So that's why she's like, if anybody kills Master Siren again, I will come for them.
You're all like, I will end a motherfucker.
Pretty much. But anyway, so Fleur will look between them and will say, I know that it's still infuriating the way that it happened, but I would suffice to say that fair is fair, and we have an understanding.
After all, I did drink from you only once. I guess well, not that bad.
No, it is not, I assure you.
Charlotte, she kind of cracks. You know that thing where you like crack your knuckles with one hand? She's doing
Yeah.
that right.
Oh yeah, she's like moving her fingers around and popping them.
I see. Did Ambroise tell Charlotte what his sire did to him? Because I know I told you out of character.
I
I'm not
don't
sure if
think
you
that
told.
you told me in character.
Okay.
Yeah, when Fleur was referring to you told us was her and whoever
Yeah.
else was in that scene. I think it was Francis.
Francis, yeah.
Yeah. So
I'll look at Charlotte. Perhaps I should tell you what my sire did to me, just so you understand the rage I have for her.
Only if you feel comfortable doing so. You don't have to tell me anything that you don't want to tell me.
Oh,
More
after tonight.
More or less, I feel like we've had perhaps a I would hesitate to say mutual respect for one another, but
Yes, but I want you to know why I was so angry. Perhaps it was that anger that made me forget about, well, but then I could just say sire.
that's understandable.
My sire. Well, as it is often with sires, I loved her, followed her. I was a member of the Sabbat.
Yes.
The things we did, I'd rather not talk about. But
You don't need to. I think I already know.
there was something I kept an eye on people. My mortal family. I had a brother, you see, when I was still mortal. I watched my family grow. He had children, and his children had children, and they had children. It was. And he'll smile. It was something that almost made me feel human again. For a member of the Sabbath, that is quite strange.
You actually something that you notice is that when you mention children, you kind of see Charlotte's face soften a little bit.
To me, they were my family. I never had children, so what was left of my mortal family was mine. Were like my children. Got to the point where, well, they all died eventually, but one was left, Lucy, my great granddaughter. Well, sorry, great grand niece, I'll say. And she came to Dublin, back when it was still Sabbat territory. I was happy. I kept an eye on her. She didn't know who I was, of course.
Of course.
But my sire got hold of that. She wasn't happy. Apparently, me caring about anyone else than her was too much. Anyone else than her and the coterie was too much. She couldn't take it. She summoned me one night. I came to her. She dominated me to stay as she held Lucy under her foot. She tortured her, slowly pushing her head against the floor until it was crushed. Slowly, and she made me watch.
You'll actually
And yeah,
Charlotte,
he's pouring tears of blood.
yeah, Charlotte's doing the same for she kind of empathizes with his
Yeah, even though Fleur's heard the story before, she's got tears in her eyes too.
She says, I understand. I understand that what you went through was absolutely horrible and that no one should ever have to go through that. I was genuine when I told you that I wanted to help you get your love back.
I know.
Because I don't feel like that's something anybody got. As a player, I'm getting super emotional right now. Holy shit. I don't feel like that's something that anybody should have to exist without. It is our pride and joy as, well, not all of us, but we're not technically human anymore. But the ability to love or to feel love or anything like that is so precious. God, I'm crying.
Fleur takes Charlotte's hand and squeezes it.
I know what it feels like to want to protect what you feel like are your children. And this is probably something that Amboise is not expecting from Charlotte at all.
Yeah, no. Quite an eyebrow.
I was God, I was 16, 17 maybe. 16 or 17, and the neighborhood that I grew up in was a shithole, for lack of a better term. It was, you might not see it when you look at me, but I'm essentially from the gutter. I grew up, I had nothing. The shoes that I had holes in them. I had a daughter, you see. She had the most beautiful blonde hair. When the doctor brought her into this world, she never drew breath. She never lived. And the funny thing is, my mother had consumption. She had tuberculosis, and I lost them both on the same day. They were everything I had. I wanted to die. I was in a fever for nearly a week, and it felt like everything had been taken. And she'll actually, when she says that, she looks up at Fleur, and she kind of just like pulls her close to her, like she wraps her arms around her waist.
Yeah, she moves in close to her,
and she closes her eyes. She's definitely seeking comfort from Fleur at this point in time. She'll actually she'll say, "Excuse me," and she gives Fleur a knowing look, and she'll pull out her phone, and she's checking for text messages. Unfortunately, there aren't any, but she checks nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
You'll actually notice there's a does Fleur look at Charlotte's phone?
Yeah, she'll glance at it when she pulls it out.
The wallpaper on her phone is actually a really kind of a roughish sketch of the three of them in the same place.
Oh, that's amazing. Fleur will smile at that.
Charlotte's actually been teaching herself to draw.
That's awesome.
She's been going to museums and everything because Sketcher kind of inspired her a little bit there.
That's awesome. I love it.
But yeah, it's the three of them, and one of them, like Alex is on one side, Fleur is on the other, and Charlotte's in the middle.
Yeah.
And she turns her phone off, And she puts it back in her pocket. And she kind of like clears away the tears off of her face. And she'll look at Amboise and she just says, I'm sorry. I understand. Perhaps not quite on the same scale, but I still understand.
He'll nod. I mean, I'm sorry for what happened to you.
I understand that you have what you have with Kaya. You do. I know that. I want to help you get that back so badly. And the only reason I did what I did was because she's getting ready to probably say the word scared. But she stops herself and she just says, I need assurances that my life is not going to be in danger because Tasha doesn't either. I honestly, she can dislike me till the sky turns red, but I cannot be in this city with everything going on and not have some form of insurance, and I'm sorry that it had to be.
He'll just nod after a while. He's like silent and then he'll nod.
I hope you can understand why I decided to do what I did.
I understand.
I'm very sure that if you were in my shoes, you probably would have done the same thing.
Something similar, probably.
Exactly, so you can understand where I'm coming from with this.
It's the way it was done, but you have apologized for that.
I will admit that it was not my best moment. I'm working on it. I feel like I've been doing a lot better when it comes to my impulses. Us Toreadors have a tendency to fly off the handle, especially when we don't mean to. I wanted to be much more subtle about my approach to it. But as you know, we were both very upset and very much both in the moment. And it happened the way that it happened, and now we are probably telling each other things that very few individuals, excuse me, who walk this earth don't know about.
And he'll nod.
So I didn't do it out of disdain or dislike of you. I think you're wonderful, and I think I can't say that I've ever met very many La Sombra. That's an experience considering. But that being said, I hope that I'm not asking you to be willing, but it is. It's. She looks like she's trying to phrase this properly and calmly because she looks like her eyes are pink, her cheeks are stained.
Yeah. Fleur has her arm around her and she just kind of squeezes her a little closer, just reassuring her.
Hold on, I want to see what Evan said to this. Okay. She looks at Amboise and she says, I have to have the assurance that she's not going to come after me, that she's not going to join forces with people to come after me. We live in a world where we are pieces on a chessboard all the time, whether we want to be there or not. And unfortunately, I'm one and you are one, and pawns can move pawns wherever they want them. with the right approach. My approach wasn't necessarily right, but it kept another pawn from taking you.
Oh, nod.
I really like that there's a clock ticking in the background.
I know.
Yeah, my
It
thoughts.
fits.
Ambiance.
But it fits because there's definitely a grandfather clock in that room. So
It's so good. I love the fact, like, whenever I'm in a scene with Nelson, there's like the clock ticking in the background.
so good. Yeah, I love it too.
It's like the best ambiance I could ever ask for. And I hope that you understand again where I'm coming from with this.
You want to live. You want to survive. It's understandable.
Of course I want to live. I have a lot to live for right now. Unlive my unlife. I would really like my head to stay attached to my neck. And I don't necessarily want someone's general dislike of me to cause my head to separate from my neck.
You're going to have, well, you said you're already doing this, getting better at your impulses, but you are going to have to watch your impulse if you don't want people to dislike you this much.
Like I said, after the voivode, after the delivery, after everything on, after this evening of all things, it's definitely something I need to be working harder at. We, Toreador, are not as susceptible to losing ourselves as the Brujah, but we are the same, or if not more, emotional than they are.
We just don't have the short-temperedness, but we do very much have our passion. And we tend to act on emotions rather than logic. And I've been working with Charlotte on trying to control that. She did fail at that this evening. But I believe that this is a lesson to be more mindful than she has been.
I'd say so.
I'm glad that...
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
It's okay. I'm just glad that we skirted the blood boon from Giovanni.
God.
A blood boon is bad enough. One from a Giovanni would be even worse.
Now, I mean, because Giovanni are not part of the Camarilla, the prince could choose not to honor it, but this is Hennessy. So she shrugs. It's best not to take the chance.
Of course. Unfortunately, I don't know Prince Hennessy as well as two of you, having only met him once when he was seneschal for Prince 3.
He likes to... He sometimes likes to do things for his own amusement, so you never know.
Don't we all?
What could happen? Yes, but having the power that he does, if he chose to allow a blood boon to be cashed in against you for his amusement, he would do it.
Yes, and not to mention the fact that he is a Nosferatu.
He is, and I'm sure he has eyes and ears everywhere he can.
Of course. She actually kind of like looks over her shoulders a little bit, like when Fleur says eyes and ears everywhere, like she's like genuinely paranoid right now.
Oh, he does not have them here. even the prince is subject to the tradition of domain. Even though my domain is within his domain, he still has to respect it.
I understand that, but he does. Others, not necessarily so.
If I find out, there will be some dire consequences.
Oh, I have no doubt. So
Something besides, well, something on another topic, but are you guys prepared for the fight against, against Ishar?
I do believe I've contacted my sire to possibly call in some help on that front. He sits on the Fleur. Charlotte actually looks up. Is Fleur sitting? Is she sitting down or standing up right now?
She's sitting next to Charlotte, with her arm
Um,
around her.
She'll look at Fleur and she'll just say, I did forget to mention to you because with everything that's been going on, something's just in my mind. My sire is the Toreador Primogen in New Orleans.
Ah, interesting.
Yes.
You did mention being from New Orleans.
Oh yes, I've lived there since about before my embrace actually. I spent several years abroad during the world wars, but I gravitated back there. I came here originally from London. I'd been staying in the court of Prince Mithras for a short while, but um, ended up here because I was looking for someone that I think I may have found actually. And she gives Fleur a knowing look when she says that.
She raises an eyebrow, like, "Oh, really?"
Quite possibly. I searched for him at Waterford. Unfortunately, he wasn't there, but I think that he still may be in the area.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's something that we can work on for sure.
Yes, I'd like to discuss mm, potential help of someone with that particular problem. But I digress.
Amboise, does your clan have any sort of representation here in the Camarilla, or is it just you?
No, there is one other that has domain.
Okay.
I have only met him briefly. Asked him if I could feed in his domain once.
That is very interesting. I didn't know that so many of the Sombra were gravitating to the Camarilla these days.
Oh, it was probably after, well, the Sabbat that were here were so deplorable that even a lot of their members decided that they no longer wanted to be associated with them, so they jumped ship.
That's surprising.
She nods.
She'll look at Amboise and say, "No offense, but they're very fanatical." I'm surprised that happened.
I've come to realize that a good Sabbat is a dead Sabbat.
If we can't agree on anything else, at least we can agree on that.
Indeed. Well, have you had a Primogen of any clan extend their protection to you?
Not before tonight. He'll smile at Fleur.
Actually, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, my love, but
when she says that, Fleur's eyes light up, and there's a blush because she has blush of health. She can blush, so she actually blushes.
Yeah, even Bomba is like, my love. Interesting.
So Charlotte actually she looks at Ambrose rather curiously, and she says, "Have you heard of any Toreador anti-tribute coming through here lately?"
Not that I can think of, no.
No? Okay. Thank you.
But he'll fade. No, I don't think so. If anything comes to mind, I'll tell you.
I would very, very much appreciate that. And her face gets very serious when she says that.
This is a person that she hates about as much as you hate your sire.
He'll nod. I'll make sure to tell you. I'll make sure to tell you if I hear anything then.
Thank you. I do appreciate your help with this.
And as for the fight with Ishar, I did call in my minor boon with Mithras for some help.
Oh,
Very nice.
well, that's very expensive. And any boon given by Prince Mithras is definitely worth having.
Well, I was going to say that if you would accept it, I would, as the Termagant of Clan Toreador, I would like to extend protection to you under the clan, and then you would essentially, anyone that messes with you has to answer to me as if you were a member of my clan.
He'll smile and bow. Of course, thank you. It is an honor, permission.
She smiles. Good.
Charlotte kind of just like, oh, she smiles at Fleur like she's proud of what she just did.
She knows. Well, she knows that a lot of times even anti-tribute from the Sabbat are still targeted if they're not protected by a quote legitimate Camarilla clan. So she wants to protect their investment.
Of course. That's creating more insurance, of course.
Yeah.
Smart
so
one.
Yeah.
So very smart.
So she'll smile and she'll nod and she'll raise her glass to him.
Okay, raise his glass.
Charlotte does the same, and she's gonna make a toast, and she says, "To new friendships, may they flourish."
To new
Fleur will nod. To new friendships, as unconventional as this one may have started, I see great things coming from the three of us.
Potentially, yeah.
And she will clink glasses with them and down the rest of her drink.
And Charlotte will do the same.
And so what on was.
That may be actually a really good place to end our scene.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. If anybody had anything else.
Not particularly. No.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Then yes, that is a great place to end the scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.